Tell us exactly what this chip does for those who are the uninitiated, if you will.
This chip is made like a full custom layout design.
It's a custom design.
Yes, it is a custom design. This is how it's look like.
That's a chip. Can we get? Can you get on that for a sec?
That thing can mine?
Oh, yes,
so
yes,
40%. So that's a chip in it.
Wow.
Hold it steady so he can see it.
This chip processing Bitcoin transactions. It's doing only one thing.
Come on.
Processing Bitcoin transaction, and that's all.
Hold on. It's mining new Bitcoins.
Yes, it's mining new Bitcoins.
Okay,
yes.
so it's not a Bitcoin transaction. It's just mining new Bitcoins.
It's mining new Bitcoins. It's just process all Bitcoin transaction. If you send money from A to B, it goes through these chips. These chips just make the proof of
how big a market is this for your chip? And the reason I ask is, supposedly, from what I understand, only 21 million Bitcoins can ever truly exist. Is that right?
Yeah, yes. That's right.
Okay, and we have about 14 million out there now?
12.5.
12.5?
Yes.
So how long will it take to, I mean, if you were to predict out, in 5 years, will all 21 million Bitcoins exist?
No, it's going to be probably in another 15, 20 years. Yes. And we're moving on a Bitcoin timeline. When I met Val, first thing, I asked him, what are you doing with the chips that we make, the servers? How do you ship it? And he looked at me like, am I silly? He's saying, we're chartering Boeing 77s and we're flying them to our data centers in Iceland and Finland for mining. It's Bitcoin time. So this chip is actually going to be obsolete in about 6 to 9 months. And there is a new revolution. There are new chips coming. And we have actually a big chip coming out later this year that will keep us #1 market share. And this is a differentiating point.
Why 21? Is that in the Bitcoin charter or in the algorithms? That's all that can...
That's in a Bitcoin charter.
Well, in the charter.
Who's to say that can't be changed?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. The charter can change, right?
Yeah, 51% of people can, gatherers of the community can go in and change that. Yeah.
But doesn't that fundamentally undermine
the
potential value of what Bitcoin even is?
From which standpoint?
Because it can
because it's not supposed to be a fiat currency, right? Like most floating currencies. So, but if you can actually change the total amount of volume of the currency out there, then it can become a fiat. Then it can basically be a fiat currency.
Listen, I mean, de facto, you've had governments go in and print money, and here you have the power of and here you have the power of a community go in and step in and decide what to do. The Bitcoin, the value of the Bitcoin, of transferring value of a network without the need of a financial intermediate is profound. I mean, Goldman saying is 600 billion in fees get paid. And if we slash on that, this is the money going to our pocket. It's revolutionary.
So when you make this investment in these chips, what type of considerations do you make for the idea? And there are obviously critics and skeptics out there that suggest that Bitcoin will get regulated, effectively regulated out of business by certain countries. What does that do to the value of that chip in your mind?
Regulation is good. I mean, I've been following what Ben Lamsky is doing. It's fantastic. I mean, we need the regulation. We need to get to that stage. Look at the internet in '93 and '94. It's an early stage of adoption.
So it exists, though, not regulated so they take it out.
Well, this country is based on innovation, and I think regulation is a very important part of not letting this innovation go out.
Tax laws would have to change. It can't stay property where you have to
pay
capital.
Well, the world is changing, and tax laws is part of it, right?
But you'd have to eventually hope that it wouldn't be taxed as property,
exactly,
right?
And that's why we're engaging our legal counsel, White and Case, to be part of that discussion. I mean, Winston Churchill said, the best ways to get excluded is not be at the negotiation table. We want to be at the negotiation table in Washington.
I'm not sure what Winston Churchill would have said about Bitcoin.
These chips are purpose-built.
I know what Milton Friedman said about it.
These chips are purpose-built.
Yes.
To the extent another virtual currency comes around.
Yes.
Can they be switched around to start making the
other kind of coin?
Yes,
current coin?
You can use this chip for Bitcoin-like coins as well. You can use it.
For others as well?
Yes, absolutely. And we have a team of engineers looking at what other currencies are there and positioning ourselves for
How much does that chip cost?
This chip costs a few dollars.
It's a proprietary information, but
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Val and George, good to see you. Coming up much more with our guests.